Okay, stream up. Welcome to Faith Vocals. My name is Faith. We are back in Minecraft, and I'm super excited because this is our old Minecraft world, but we are finally in the new Minecraft Snapshot. So what I was thinking today is we would go through here. I'm in my nether base where I left off. We met a new friend yesterday, and he invited me in his server, so I took a break here. Not yesterday, last stream. Took a break here and then went over to his server and had a great time. Thank you, Patrick, for inviting me. And then this week, Minecraft MOJANG introduced their latest snapshot, which reverts a bunch of stuff back to the old version, since they're planning on splitting the world building off into the holiday update. So they don't have to worry about that so immediately. They can make sure they've got all the technicalities taken care of with that in using more time. So that means this world can finally join the modern age and see all of the fun stuff that they've been adding to the snapshots since the one we've been in, which I think is 21W05B. So now we're in 21W15A. So we've had 10 updates to catch up on. So now I am going from nether base into, let me see, I don't have any cobblestone, so I'll go ahead and bring, I left the scrap there. Let me go ahead and put that someplace safe. And then I want to go to Amethyst base, because that has spawned us in a cave. I have no idea where the cave is. I thought it might be fun to see if we can dig out of the cave and find the surface. Oh, how did a piglin get in here? Okay. Want to find the surface, and then from the surface, maybe see what's around, see what is new that generates around this area. I expect the surface probably has generated because we'd be in the same vertical chunk. That would have loaded already. Oh, new ores. See, I don't think those were in this world before. And I've got plenty of coal and wood to make more torches. I've got a bucket, so I don't need to worry about collecting water. While I am losing that train of thought, which wasn't terribly important, then I want to go ahead and transition to what I want to talk about today. I wanted to bring up changes that I plan to make to the channel while I'm trying to find the easiest route to get upstairs. So there's an up path. Why don't I just dig up there? Can I do that? And I think I want to transition away from using my netherite pickaxe with efficiency, because I'd rather save it. I know it's the most durable thing in the game, most durable tool in the game, but I would just prefer to save it, I think. So there's some iron. Well, I've got iron. I could be setting myself up with a more expendable pickaxe, so why don't I do that? Wanted to talk about some changes that I'd like to make to the channel. We've had some more subscribers since the last stream. Obviously, when you subscribe, it's because you're expecting some consistency on the channel, so I think you ought to know what my plans are if I'm going to be making any changes. The two big changes I think you'll be seeing in streams in the future is, first, I want to work towards making shorter streams. And this will be one of those. As soon as I say my piece here, I'll try to get someplace safe, and then I'll call it quits. And then, is there a path up from here? And then, besides that, I want to work on maybe some newer games, because I've already tried one stream where I played Raft, and I can't tell if the stats are including my own views in the stats, but lately I've heard that maybe YouTube does a good job of filtering my own views out. I tend to go over my own videos a lot in order to optimize them. I try to break them down into chapters, and since they're so long, that takes a long time. It's a long process. So it requires me to go back as I have time and do little bits of the chaptering over time. And I'll let you know I'm not planning, but I'm not, there's a skelly somewhere. Where is he? I don't see him. By the way, if you hear any bad audio this stream, I apologize. I'm experimenting with something called audio ducking. So while I'm talking, it should bring the game sounds down. That way when I'm over at Oak Base and I have all of my friendly animals, I don't have to turn the volume down. The volume should turn itself down. Got some gold here. May as well pick that up. The chapters, I'm not necessarily going to promise to have videos chapterized in the future. As I'm able, I plan to continue doing that because I think it will make it will make things easier for you trying to find the substance of my content instead of having to deal with all of the sidetracks that I tend to take. I tend to get distracted as I'm talking in the game. So if I'm talking about the gameplay and you were wondering about the topics that I was talking about, which can get pretty hefty sometimes, then you can use those chapters to find them. But I have a backlog right now of 4 videos that I'm trying to work on chapters. I think I've got 3, and then this one will be the 4th one. So since I am so far behind, I'm not going to make any promises about how soon I'll have everything caught up. And then with making the streams shorter, like I'm hoping, then hopefully that will also help me because then I won't have such large videos to work through. And it'll be easier for me to catch up on those chapters. But that's not my only reason for that. Let's see, I think I did mention I wanted to add some new games. I did try a stream where I was doing Raft, and then I came back to Minecraft because Minecraft is doing these snapshot updates. I thought that would be the most exciting thing for viewers to see. But we've been locked out of a bunch of the updates because we've been in an old world. So not much has changed as I've been playing. So I've been planning to go to newer games as before this latest update came out. That was the plan. I was going to do this stream in Minecraft anyway, and then move to old games. I'm not sure whether I'll be doing and then move to new games. I'm not sure whether I'll be doing the next stream in Minecraft or if I want to just head straight for the new games. I guess it depends on whether the next update looks like it adds a lot to the Minecraft experience. There's a game that I've been interested in playing for the stream called My Time at Portia. I believe I've got the name right. There's a preposition in there, at or in, I'm not sure which. But I have been enjoying My Time at Portia privately, but there's some topics that the game handles. I heard a villager, but I can't tell if it was the merchant or a pillager. I'm waiting for some audio. That sounds friendly. I think we're fine. Is there a village upstairs? This should be beyond Savannah Base, so this should be an unexplored territory the opposite direction from Oak Base. So completely new terrain. It looks like I am directly under a village. I'm going to be burrowing into someone's house. Let's try to avoid that, maybe. No. This is clay. I'm in the mesa. Okay. And there's a merchant because I heard some llamas. There we go. I got this figured out. I'm smart. Yeah, mesa. And there go all my torches. Let me see if I can reclaim them. I hate losing torches. Okay, there they all are. And I get to try to find my way back up again. If I get into this pocket, can I just swim fast? Doesn't seem to be working. So we'll just have to go the hard way. Okay, so my time at Portia was the game that I was hoping to try maybe next time. It has some concepts that I think are interesting, that I wanted to go ahead and spell out from a Christian perspective. So I think that lines up with what I want to do on the channel. There you are. Hello. So how far away from the edge of the mesa are we? And I think Savannah Base is north of Oak Base. So Amethyst Base is in the mesa. And I call this Amethyst Base if you haven't been in previous streams because the opening is right over, the portal is right over an Amethyst. Technically, I don't have a base there, but it may be worth making, especially since there's a jungle right over there. So that's nice. And I'm trying to think what there might be to find on land. If we were to find some extreme hills, maybe we could find some goats. Maybe that would be a thing. They're supposed to be adding mobs to this update, the summer update. So I expect that would include the warden when they finally get him all built. So that will probably be the most exciting part of the expansion for me, is the warden. So there's jungle over there. And I want to see if this connects with the savanna or the desert that I'm familiar with anywhere nearby. Let me know if there are any other games that you would like me to try out while I'm experimenting with having a bit more variety. Let's see, the sun is directly overhead, and the clouds and the sun move in the same way. So that should be west. This should be north. I am going south, which I think is the direction I want to go if I want to see back where Savannah Base is. And then I did mention the shorter stream, so let me go ahead and give you my reasoning for making these changes, because it sounds like these changes would be particularly fun for me, would make the game a little more interesting for me. But what do you get out of these changes? Is this actually worthwhile for you at all? So as I'm looking at my streams, I'm seeing that they run usually about 2 hours long. Lately, I've had record length streams of about 3 hours, maybe. I think the Easter stream, the one on Saturday before Easter, was about 3.5 hours long. So I've hit a few records lately. I just noticed personally that more recently, when I've thought of starting a stream, I feel a little bit deflated. So getting a sense of burnout, and I'm new at this. This should be a new thing. It should be exciting. I'm learning new things every time I stream, like with experimenting with the audio ducking, trying to figure out how to make the audio a little bit better. I'm pretty satisfied with how the audio is, but if I can improve it for you guys, that would be great. So I shouldn't, at this point, be feeling burned out, right? But I do also think that being a beginner may contribute to being burned out more than average. Because if I were a professional streamer, the kind who can go for 8 hours a day and then do a 24-hour marathon when they want to, then I would have things all figured out. I would know how to run a stream in a way that is that creates as little friction as possible for me. So there's some iron. No, that's gold, because we're in Mesa, so that's gold. Let me see if the new gold ore is in place. I'm sure it is. Have I mined? Oh yes, I have already. I've got raw gold and raw copper, and it's the new textures. So I think I'm fine. Let me just see if that oak tree drops any saplings before I leave. I see a sapling. I'll grab that and I'll go. I'm not sure if I'm going to remember how to get back to Amethyst Base, actually. I plan to be adventurous and to strike out, but if there's a way to... I don't know if I've passed it already while I was walking up on the mesa, or if it's still somewhere along the side. Yeah, it was in the water, right? So it's going to be hard to find anyway. If I happen to see a way to identify it, then maybe I'll put a torch nearby, so it'll be easier to return to, because that sun is thinking about going down. Is this where it was? Anyway, I was saying I think that being a new streamer contributes to me feeling burned out sooner, actually. Because if I'm pushing myself to stream for a long time, because that's what everybody does, right? Everybody goes at least 5 hours. I can only manage 3.5 hours at a time at most, so I gotta push harder, right? But who sets that rule? What makes that the standard? A lot of these streamers I'm looking at are full-timers, so they can dedicate their whole day to the stream. And like I said, they've already figured out how to make it easier on themselves and save themselves some energy as they're going. Oh, we've got an amethyst here. Look at that. There's some tuft and some calcite. Is tuft still the stone that's around amethyst, or is that a different stone now? The sun's dropping. Maybe I want to consider making a base in the amethyst. Or at least holding up in there since it's so... Oh, hey friend. That's where my exit was. So I'll go over there and mark it real quick. Looks like there's a mine shaft nearby. Might be worth checking out overnight. So I'm going to jog. I probably shouldn't because I have no food. No, I've got steak. I've got food. And then once I'm in the mine shaft, if I collect any string, I can make a fishing pole or something. Anyway, while I'm new to this and starting out, I don't want to set myself up for failure by expecting more of myself than I should, by comparing myself to other streamers. So I think I need to listen to my emotions on this. If there's my entrance. Okay. Can I? That won't go away? Good. That's good. I like that. Let's go to the mine shaft before the monsters come out. I've got my tools all ready. Let's see, let me find the last tail end of what I was talking about. I know what I was talking about, but I would rather not repeat the whole... We've got some glowberries in this cart. That's nice. I'll just leave them there. Well, I've got bone meal. I can take them. They might provide some food or a nice light source. Let's see if I can collect 5 string while I'm in here. Got some coal. So I'm just trying to pay attention to what my emotions are telling myself now, because if I keep at what I'm not able to do just because I'm comparing myself to others, then I'm more likely to burn out, more likely to quit completely, and I don't want to do that. I think what I'm doing on this channel is important. Glad I saw that coming. Okay, let me clear this. That water is not helping. I'll clear this gravel. There we go. But the other reason for moving to shorter streams that I think is going to help you is usually when I start a stream, I kind of ramble a bit about things that most people are not going to care about. Usually about the running of the stream. And then, there we go. Once I warm up and find my groove, then I start to get into what's most important to me. And then I tend to deviate on sidetracks, as I've done in this stream several times, and it winds up being a lot longer than I had planned. If I know that the streams are going to be short, that'll make me do two things. Uh-oh. I'm seeing signs of a spider spawner. Let me quickly deal with that. No, I don't like you spiders. Okay, I think I'm safe. I think I don't need to worry about famous last words. Where is that guy? Upstairs? Did he spawn upstairs? Well, I've got plenty of string. I'm not carrying any beds, but I've got beds somewhere. I saw a bed somewhere. I probably left them in the nether base, which is fine. Let me make a bow, because that is probably going to be the most important thing right now. I can't tell if that zombie's on my same level or not. Have I got a shield? I don't have a shield. I'll make a shield. And then, I don't have the sticks for a fishing rod, but I'll go ahead and make that now. Because you can fish wherever. Fishing rod means infinite food. And then I'll slice through this spider web and see what I face on the other side. So one thing about shorter streams is maybe that'll force me to be a little bit more concise in order to keep up with that resolution. I'm not making any promises about my ability to keep with my resolutions, but I'm definitely motivated in this case. Is that as far as the mine shaft goes? Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing multiple spiders. There's definitely baby spiders up there. Oh boy, I'll just ignore that problem and maybe it'll go away. I want to see what's down here. If there's any way that it connects to my cave. Over by Amethyst Base. So the other thing that that having shorter streams will force me to do, besides hopefully I'll be a little more concise, is I'll have to look for smaller topics. Because I say on this channel that I want to talk about culture and current events. Which sounds great. It sounds broad enough for me to find a way to talk about important things in relevant ways anytime I want to. But I think as I stream, I am discovering I tend to think in abstracts and generalities a bit more than I think in specifics. And culture and current events, usually it's about specific movies or specific events that have to relate to politics. And I am not good at identifying those and bringing them to light in my conversations just yet. I think there's a part of me that doesn't want to be naysaying what someone else cares about. So it's easier for me to speak about general principles and explain why I have the views I do and what I care about that way. I also don't want to criticize something that people have worked really hard on, like a movie that takes a whole team of people. Like, say, this game, Minecraft. I have made some comments about the way that I see the Minecraft story going. And I think it's, while I was making those comments, on the one hand, I think it's fair for me to have my opinion about Minecraft and what the lore that I perceive means as I go through the experiences that they take you through in the game. That I have kind of, I think headcanon is the word that's used nowadays. What I think is really going on behind what the villagers are doing and who the zombies are and where the Endermen come from, that kind of thing. What influence they have on the world that I'm working on. Because there's a certain way that the game is structured and different characters are given different behaviors, and why did the creators see them, why did the creators frame them in that way? So it's fair for me to have my opinions on that, but also I think Minecraft is a loose enough game. When Notch was creating it, I don't think he had any villagers in mind. He didn't have the end in mind. All of the different elements that make up this story that I think is part of the game now were not a part of it before. And I may say, well, I'm seeing some sorceress undertones. What with the villagers? One of them is a cleric who takes rotten flesh, so seems like there's some magic or necromancy involved somewhere, that you need a cleric who will oppose that. You've got the evokers who use the Vex, the little flying gray critters to make attacks and things. That seems pretty dark. That seems like some sorcery going on here. For all I know, a developer may say, listen, we were just trying to make the game fun. People like fantasy, so we were just kind of throwing some fantasy elements into the game to create some adventure, and that's fair. So there's a part of me that doesn't want to nitpick. I could use my shield, and then I have room for what I must have picked up something I don't care about. Let me get rid of the cobblestone. And is there... I've got room for coal. It's fine. Okay, my throat's already feeling just a touch rough. Mandatory throat commentary here. Okay. So on the one hand, I don't want to be nitpicky, but then how do I talk about culture and current events if I don't talk about specific things in culture, like specific games? Like I would like to comment on my time at Porsche. It's a very enjoyable game. I love it on the one hand, but on the other hand, they do address topics and religion in a way that I kind of want to call out. Not that I want to have them canceled because they don't line up with my opinion, but I do want to kind of point out a message or agenda that I'm seeing in that game. So I think that would be interesting if I get into that. Anyway, I think that maybe by choosing smaller topics, then I would be forced to get more specific in order to get ideas that would sustain these streams. And then I could move from the specifics to the generalities. And in any commentary that I make, because there are going to be a lot of things that I disagree with and I'll want to point out. I am offering only my own opinion, and I do try to make that clear in all of the different streams in general that I do. This is just my perspective. That's what this channel is about. And hopefully by seeing my perspective, it'll get you thinking in a way that you may not be used to. So that's what I hope to offer you on the streams. I try to be thought-provoking. Maybe what I have to say is not necessarily right. And if it's not, I do encourage you to contact me. Tell you what, going to pop out my chat here. I saw it was kind of minimized and thought, well, maybe I can live with it as it is. But as I'm looking at it now, no, there's a lot of text and it's a small space. So I just want to not run the risk of missing anybody if you decide to go ahead and communicate with me. If I've got something wrong or something that you disagree with, I definitely want your input so that I can refine what I believe and become better. I don't want to be left stewing in my own mistakes and misunderstandings. Okay, gotta figure out what to toss so I can get my workbench back. There we go. No, I did not mean to pick up more cobblestone. There we go. So I'd appreciate your input. And to get back on track, sometimes I have to rehash what I was saying in order to figure out where I was going next, get a running start on the topic. If I disagree with anything, I am presenting just my own opinion. It may be a wrong opinion, but even then, if it's a wrong opinion, I hope it'll get you thinking, why is this opinion wrong? How would I communicate with faith in a way that's convincing about why what I believe is valid and accurate if I believe that the way that faith thinks is not. And I hope you'll be able to do that civilly, and we can have a good discussion about that. It is never my intention to be wrong or flawed. I do allow myself the freedom to be wrong because I do believe that we cannot be human and omniscient at the same time. Omniscience is a God thing. It's not a human thing. So there's got to be something that I've got wrong. And once I get that figured out, there's probably something else that I've got wrong. So there's probably a lot of things that I've got wrong. The fewer of those things I have, the better I'll like it. So I've been down here for a while. Picked up some random ores. Let's go back to the surface, because if the sun comes up, then maybe I can do some more exploring. Want to see exactly how far away I am from Savannah Base. Maybe if I have enough time, I can wind up back there. There's definitely some skellies back there. I don't know what happened to the baby spiders. There's more mine shafts. Okay, I'm not going to explore those right now. I can make a boat, right? Yeah, I'd have to chuck something, but I can make a boat. Let's do that. Have I got a quick recipe here? Yes. Okay, and figure out what else I don't need. There we go. If I get out to the ocean, well, this is not the way to the ocean, then maybe I can find a quick shot back to Savannah Base. So what I was saying, my goal is with the channel, the value I hope to bring to you is that at least I am thought-provoking. Primarily because I'm different. If you're not a Christian, or maybe you are a Christian and you just hold some things different from me, or maybe you appreciate the way that I express things that you do believe. So it just struck me, I had that netherite scrap back at the nether base, and I've got some diamond implements I could have used that on. I'll consider that when I get back to Savannah Base, because it won't be too hard to return to nether base once I get there. So with the shorter streams, hopefully I'll be more concise. Hopefully I'll be more specific. Hopefully the things that I say here on the channel will be more interesting and relevant to you. With the new games, wanting to have more variety in games. My hope with that, besides the fact that I have more variety, can have a little bit more fun with the games that I'm playing in the stream. My hope with the new games is, one, with, as I've already mentioned with my time at Portia, we got a ruin here, partially submerged, so I don't think I'll be able to restore it if I get any obsidian, but that chest is worth checking out. Golden apple, interesting. I don't see anything particularly interesting other than that. Any other chests around here? I think, is that one? That's just clay. So I think we're done. So aside from having more variety in games, aside from being able to talk about specific subjects the games bring up, like my time at Portia has a story, and that implies some moral ground that maybe I can discuss from a Christian perspective. So I'm looking forward to that possibility with new games. Then the other thing that I was hoping to do with games, I want to kind of minimize the influence of games on this channel. Because this is where, if you were looking at the title, I mentioned pizzas and enchiladas. This is where I'll tie them in. Because with this channel, I'm kind of offering three different things with this channel. Obviously, I'm playing games. Originally, I started playing the games mostly for my own benefit. So, got some jungle here, got some swamp, got some more jungle. Maybe it wraps around the back. Got some dark oaks. And where's the sun? Is it about to set again? The sun's about to set again. As long as I stay in the middle of the water, I think I'll be fine. But that sun is heading west, so I'm heading east. But I keep looking to the south, because I think that's where the savannah's going to be. And I keep going over the magma, so... I come from Minecraft 1.12, usually. That's where I've been hanging out, because that's the Minecraft that's been modded. Ever since the snapshots, I've spent more time in the newer snapshots, enjoying the deep, high highs and the deep deeps. Just trying to get my bearings around here. We're running out of water, and I don't want to settle on the land while there's going to be enemies. Unless there's going to be someplace safe for me to go. So I'd probably just prefer to get a good feel for the size and shape of this ocean. Feels like there's more light over there. Is there a lava pool over there? That might be worth exploring, since there's light. There will be less spawning over there. So I deviated about Minecraft and the snapshots. I just want to make sure there's nothing important that I see where I deviated. I was talking about the magma. The magma messing with the boat shocked me at first when it first happened, because I hadn't been playing since... Didn't the magma come in at the ocean expansion, or was that the nether expansion? It was a completely new experience to me, so I expect it to be a new experience to everybody, but most of you have probably been playing in Minecraft 1.16. So with this channel, I'm hoping to offer three things, and one of those is the gameplay. But as I say, the gameplay is mostly to keep myself on task making these videos. If I have to focus on staring at a camera, a cold hard piece of plastic with a glass lens, if I've got to focus on how rough and raspy my voice is getting as I'm using it, then this is going to be an unpleasant experience in my YouTube career, quote-unquote career. I'm not a professional YouTuber by any means, but that will not last long. So my plan then is, at least with the game, this adds a level of enjoyability to me, and it creates nice visuals for you, I hope. Let me know if there's anything I can do about the gameplay to improve your experience. So I am still learning a lot about the whole streaming thing. So that is one of the things I'm offering. But to me, it's the least important thing that I'm offering. So let me move on to the other two, and then I'll get on to my analogy here. The next, I'm seeing skellies over there, so now we're getting into more dicey territory because they might shoot me from the sides, but I don't think they've spawned on these sides yet. That one's watching me. My boat's all askew. There we go. This mesa biome is huge. The second thing that I'm offering is what most streamers, pretty much all streamers, especially those who have a face cam, are offering, and that is personality. And that is a huge part of this channel. As I've already said, I offer you my perspective and my interpretation of the world, of culture, of current events, where I'm not too general and actually get down to the topic. Oh, there's a war motion there. Interesting. I don't know how much value there is to me, but it looks pretty, so it looks like it should be valuable. It's got that shiny effect, like a glow squid. So my personality in the gameplay, and especially in the topics that I present, especially trying to be thought-provoking by offering you a set of thoughts that may be different than you usually hear. That part of the channel is more important to me. So that's a more significant part of the experience, what I'm hoping to offer you. But if there's a savanna over there, it's to the north of where I came in, I think. Might be worth checking out just because it's familiar terrain. Just in case I've got my compass directions wrong. I think I'll plan to wander around there in the morning. Lots of baby zombies in the area, I'm noticing. So if you take the game, and if you take my personality combined, if we were looking at a pizza, I think we would be talking about the sauce and the toppings of the pizza. So that's where the pizza comes in. The gameplay and my personality are the sauce and the toppings. And I am thinking, typically when you order a pizza, you're ordering it for the toppings, right? Maybe your favorite is pepperoni. Maybe your favorite is cheese. Maybe you're a little more adventurous and you like supreme or Hawaiian pizza. Feel free to mention in the chat or in the comments what your favorite kind of pizza is, or if you're more of an enchilada person. And if you're more of an enchilada person, then we're talking about the tortilla. I'm thinking the tortilla would be my personality. And the toppings of the enchilada. If you put any sour cream on the enchilada, any cilantro, any onions or anything like that, like green onions is what I'm thinking. Normal onions don't normally go on top of an enchilada. Maybe they do on yours. That temple might be my temple. The one that I blew up and set up as a kind of halfway base. This area is starting to look familiar. So maybe I'm willing to brave stepping on land because I'm seeing another mine shaft. And I figure once I get into an enclosed space like a mine shaft, I'm probably safer than being outdoors. So I may... How well am I armed here? Decent. I'll be fine. So I'll explore around here. So to me, with the pizza analogy, the toppings are the game, because people tend to order a pizza because they like the toppings. And I'm expecting people will be coming to the channel for the game. I've seen in my YouTube analytics, it tells me some of the phrases that people are searching for when they find my channel. And most of those phrases do tend to be Minecraft, Minecraft 1.6, Minecraft Snapshots, Minecraft 1.7, that kind of thing. So if I head that way, then am I going to be closer to home? I don't remember if I've been that far. I'm going to head back to the boat. No! I forgot about those guys. Let me just move fast, and maybe I won't have to worry about them. I can't even see them. Because if I turn around, then I'll be slow enough. Man, that is a bad situation. Didn't take any damage off me, so I think I'm fine. I'm hungry, though. But panic unnecessary. I don't think it's a terrible crisis. We're fine, and the sun is coming up, so we're fine. I've managed to be slippery enough to evade them all this time. It was stepping on land that got me in trouble. So I wonder if they have any particular relationship with the ocean, because I'm not hearing them now. Are any going to spawn? I'll just sit here and run an experiment. Maybe get away from that land there. That's interesting. Well, now I can see if I connect with Savannah Base. And that is west, so I am heading north. I get my compass directions turned around in this world, but hopefully I'll eventually learn where the bases are related on the compass from each other. Anyway, people order a pizza for the toppings, that's what draws them, but if you were to take the pizza toppings by itself, not the whole pizza, just the toppings, how filling would that be? Maybe it depends on the toppings. I tend to find if I'm eating protein, I can toss that, then that's more filling for me than if I eat just vegetables. But I'm getting a feeling if you're just using whatever the toppings were on the pizza, you're getting like a handful of substance out of those toppings. That's not going to keep you full for long. Maybe you'll be all right for an hour or so, and then you'll need more food shortly after that. So the toppings are not what is the substance of the pizza, in my opinion. With the enchilada, if we're going with the toppings of the enchilada, the sour cream on top, the cilantro and onions, that's even less filling. That's even less topping to feed yourself off of. So what is the substance of these things? Is it the sauce of the pizza? Like I said, the gameplay and the personality together are the toppings and the sauce. So I'm considering my personality to be the sauce of the pizza, we'll say. And depending on how the sauce is put together, that determines one pizza from another. Maybe you like Domino's or Papa John's, Pizza Hut. I wouldn't be surprised if the difference that you enjoy there is in how each of them prepares the sauce of the pizza, what that's like. Personally, I have an allergy to tomatoes, so I can only eat pizza that's got white Alfredo sauce. It's got to be a non-tomato based sauce. So that is going to be a very particular, I know that ruined portal. I bet I'm close to home. I got a terrible itch here. I'm conscientious about scratching and things like that on the camera, but I just got to address that. So the topping, the gameplay, the sauce, maybe that is enough to get you to decide this is the pizza that I'm going for. Lots of restaurants have a pepperoni pizza, but this is the pepperoni pizza that I'm hankering for. And I recognize that marker. So let's go down here. I haven't been here in forever. This is a nice nostalgic. Was there copper when we first came down here? I don't think so. I don't know. Was there? Maybe it looked different. It probably did. It probably had the different ores so it didn't stand out so much. I've got diamond here. I've got an old stone pickaxe I can use up. Let me see if there's anything I just want to drop off here. I'll do some inventory management while I'm talking. Does this matter to you? Sometimes it's easier for me to manage inventory and be able to keep a dedicated train of thought, but sometimes I notice I'll be talking about what particularly I am going to put in and out of my inventory instead of the topic I was talking about. So I would appreciate your input on whether this hinders the experience or whether it doesn't really affect the experience, because as I'm about to say, I don't think the substance of the experience is in the gameplay at all. That's the least substantial part of what I offer on the channel, and I don't think it's in my personality. There's more substance in my personality. I offer possibly a different point of view than you might have. So I think the golden apple might come in handy if I need it. Okay, I'll keep it. The sapling, I've probably got other saplings at home. I can leave the flint. And then I want to get that wooden pickaxe and maybe that cane, that sugar cane. And then I think I'll be done here. So I got one sapling. See, I've gone on to talking about inventory management instead of the topic again. So I would really appreciate your input. If the substance of the channel is not completely the personality or the gameplay, then what is it? I think it's the final part that I want to offer, which is going to be my personal set of beliefs. I'm a Christian. I think the most important thing I can offer you is to point you in the direction of my God who created the universe, who is the standard of all goodness, the standard of beauty, the standard of everything that we enjoy. And our perception of that standard has been perverted because I don't think I need so much string. That gets me the pickaxe. Well, let's see if I can get that cane. Our standard of goodness has been perverted because humanity has rebelled against God, both collectively and as individuals. Each one of us have done. I've got my gold on, so I won't have any trouble with piglins. Each one of us have sinned, rebelled against God, have done things that God has said are not good, are in opposition to Him. God is not our first priority, which is completely backwards since He is indeed the standard of all goodness. So you would think He would be what we would be looking to first for what we enjoy. So the nether base is back there. So that is further south, I'm guessing. And then this is north, and this is where Oak Base is. And Oak Base is home for me. This base is kind of like my birthplace, and this is the place that I'm living now. So you would think that we would be looking to God first, and we would be taking our enjoyment from God first. That He would be the standard for everything that we enjoy. I'll just chuck this in here now, because I feel like it. Why don't I chuck that in there also? Okay. I'm trying to... Every so often I get into a topic that is definitely related to what I was already saying, and then I forget exactly where the connection was, so I can't go back over the old train of thought to get back to the topic that I was on. I was talking about how God is God, Jesus Christ. Jesus said that He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father, meaning God the Father, except through Him. So in order to direct you to God, the greatest standard of everything, I would have to direct you to Jesus Christ, which makes sense because Jesus and God are part of the Trinity. I've addressed that subject on the channel before. They are two persons of the same entity. That's the best way I have to explain it. They say that if you want to know if you know a topic completely, let's see, I turned on the weather, and the audio ducking should cover over that, so I'm going to trust that and hope that that doesn't interfere with what you're hearing here. Because it's an old version, I've still got a bunch of these copper ore blocks. It's as if I silk touched them, even though I don't have that ability. I'll go ahead and smelt these so that I can condense my inventory. So this should take 2, and then I can burn 3 more with the 2 oak planks I've got. Let's see. So, if you were to ask me to teach the subject of the Trinity in a way that a 5-year-old can understand, I understand that's the way that you check and see whether you truly understand the topic. I'm not sure if I could, because I think the Trinity is a completely different kind of being than anything you and I have ever experienced. We tend to experience the lives that we see as unities. I've got one dog who's in the room with me. If he's shaking his collar, then you've heard it. I've got earphones in, so I don't tend to hear when he's up and moving about. I am one person in one body, one entity. Usually our personhood and our I don't know how you talk about entityness, if there's a word for entityness, our existence or our individuality maybe. Usually they are bound together, so you are one of both. But the Bible describes God as 3 persons, but one God. So I'll not go much further on that tangent. The point is, Jesus said that only He is the way to the Father. There's no other way to the Father except through Him. I was wondering if I could parkour this, but I'm having trouble with that button. I am no parkour expert, and I did not make that run. There we go, finally. So the substance that I hope to offer on this channel is to introduce, if you're unfamiliar with my God and my Savior, then I would like to help you be more familiar with Him. That is the primary reason that I think it's worthwhile to take some time out of my weekend and stream these videos, offer you my perspective, because my perspective includes the belief that my faith is important, that Christianity holds the truth about where we come from and why the world appears broken to us, because it is. What we do about that, we need to get right with God, and the way that He's provided for us to do that is through His Son, Jesus Christ. And what happens to us after our lives are over, when we die, well, it depends on what our choice has been during this life about who God is and how we respond to him and to his offer of salvation through Jesus. And I think those are the biggest questions that I could offer answers to. All of the political questions that catch our attention and that we squabble over, those are really minor things compared to what the answers to those 4 questions that I mentioned to you are. Where we come from, why the world appears broken, what to do about it, and what happens to us when we leave this world. Those are the ones that we need to address, because if we've got an eternity elsewhere, in heaven or in hell, it's what does the suffering that we experience in this world matter? We are here for 90 years, and in the light of eternity, then that 90 years becomes an increasingly small mathematical point. I don't know if that's a possibility if a mathematical point gets increasingly small, but that is, I think that's as accurate a way to explain it as I could. So what does a mathematical point's worth of suffering matter if we are, if we have an eternal life somewhere else? And let me just see if there's any more ores that I can condense. I don't see any blocks here. There might be some in the nether. I don't remember everything that was in the nether base. I can go ahead and smelt my raw iron here. Condense that into smelted iron, because I've already got some over here. Okay. Off topic by inventory again. There we go. Now, when I look at the Bible, God does seem to care about the suffering that we experience in our lives now, even though we've got an infinite life and eternal life in the Bible. Both believers and non-believers have an eternal existence once this life is over. For the Bible, it says it's going to be an eternity with God, and that is going to be a wonderful experience where we will be completely fulfilled, worshiping God for all eternity. And when the Bible talks about worship, I don't think that just means singing God's praises for eternity. If you enjoy singing God's praises, that may be part of it. We all should enjoy singing God's praises. But I do believe that everything we do is worship of some kind. Every action we take, we are expressing what we value, because we could be doing this action or that action at any given moment. We are prioritizing one thing over another. So why have we chosen to prioritize this thing with our time that we're doing now, as opposed to something else? And for me, I enjoy games, and so games help me to prioritize streaming. The reason I'm streaming is because I believe I have something important to say regarding my faith, so I'm willing to spend the time on streaming. I'm also aware of my shortcomings, so I need to make the process enjoyable for myself, and maybe that shows a deficiency in my worship for God, that I would need to have a game here in order to continue doing what I think is meaningful. Hopefully, if that's the case, I mature, and someday the games may be completely gone from the channel, because they're only the toppings on the pizza or the enchilada. And what I'm talking about with my faith is the meat of the enchilada, the crust of the pizza. And it may seem strange to talk about the crust of the pizza as the substance, but really that's where you get most of the... No, I don't want to go up. I want to go down to nether base, because that's where I left off last time, I guess. You can try to scare me. I'm not afraid of you. I got gold boots on. So, however, the person who made the game, I'm assuming that most of the people making this game, Mojang, are not Christians. Probably all of them are not Christians. I can't make any assumptions about their spirituality, but I do tend to assume that Christianity is the minority compared to the rest of culture. So they're probably making the game because it's enjoyable to them, the way that they're constructing it, and they know they'll get something out of it in return, in the form of financial, what's a good, they'll get paid for this, basically, is what I'm saying. There's a ghast there. Where's the ghast? Is it back here? What is back here? I'll go ahead and wander off while I'm talking. Hopefully, I've got diamond. Not something I want to die with. Let's go back to base. Nether base. But let's say that one of the developers is a Christian. Why might that Christian be spending their time and resources producing the game? Probably like everyone else to get financial return for the work that they're putting in there. Okay, anything else that I can conceive of leaving here? I think I'll do that. And then back to oak base, just because I want to. I'm winding up, so I want to stick to the safe places here. A Christian might also be producing this game because God has given them skill in coding, has given them an imagination for gameplay. Nobody knock me off, please. Because that is fulfilling for them, and their skill. There's a floating piece of netherrack out there, I think. That's interesting. Their skill in producing the game may be a way that they glorify God, where they are fulfilled using the skills that He has, and that is what makes life enjoyable for them, and that is what makes life something that they want to praise God for. They've got a great job doing something they love and they're skilled at, and it makes people happy, and praise the Lord that they get to have this experience. Yeah, I don't have anything I care about that I can tell, so I'm fine. I'm just wandering around in new terrain, so I want to be careful about what I'm wandering into. I think there's my portal to Savannah Base. So gotta find a way up there, and then I'll take the portal to Oak Base. And it's a magma cube. Nah, I'll leave it. Unless it bothers me, I'll leave it. So I do think things like this can be glorifying to God also. My gameplay, I definitely love the fact that God has made us able to appreciate the work that other humans do, and that the work that we do can be translated into art like this, where basically, to me, games are a way to travel to a world that I would not have been able to travel to. I love the open world games like Minecraft. And through those games, through the stories they tell, it's possible to think of philosophical subjects in a different way. I was watching a streamer lately. I caught the end of his stream where he was streaming Detroit Becoming Human. And that's a game I know very little about. I did not see any of the gameplay from the stream, but I saw there was a poll. I don't know if it comes from the game if it's something the game asks after the fact, or if it's something that he created for his stream. But it was comparing his answers, the stream's answers, compared to, because I think he fed the stream's answers through the poll, if I'm not mistaken, or something. But it was comparing them to the rest of the world regarding androids and the values that the game was experimenting with. So I thought that was interesting, how this game was trying to address these values. If the poll was a part of the game, then it's clear that the creators are dedicated to these values and getting people to think about them. So that's interesting to me. I'm not sure if Detroit Becoming Human is a game that I would play. I'd have to look at what their approach to things is in the game. I don't tend to like games that are very gory, or games with a lot of language to them. I tend to prefer games that are going to be... I don't want to play anything that's mature, and tend to stick to the teen rating at my highest for the games I play. The good thing about teen games is they can get into some of the deeper subjects. The bad thing is they're more allowed to handle things in, I'm going to say, naughty ways. So, where I think teen is as far as I want to go, and then when I see the mature rating, it's mature probably for all the things that ruin a game, in my opinion. So I've got my animal volume turned all the way up now, but since I'm experimenting with ducking, hopefully you're hearing less of those animals as I'm talking. Hello. It's one of the escapees. I've got this sapling, so I thought I would try to find a place to put it. That torch seems like a pretty reasonable spot, maybe? Okay. My job here is done. And why don't I go ahead and get something to eat, too? So let's see, where did I get off here? Basically, the most important thing, the most substantial thing that I hope to bring with this channel is the discussion of God, familiarity with God according to the Bible. Hopefully, my personality, the sauce, the tortilla of the channel, the sauce of the pizza, the tortilla of the enchilada, doesn't interfere with your experience of the substance, the crust of the pizza, or the meat, the filling of the enchilada. That's where God comes into the analogy. That's where we get the greatest richness from these foods that we eat. Obviously, no one is buying the pizza for the crust. Maybe you're more interested in the filling of the enchilada. So that's why I need two of these foods to make my analogy, because I think I started off, the enchilada was a burrito originally, and then I realized the burritos don't tend to get toppings. But the most substantial thing that I'm bringing is usually not the thing that interests people. And so I want to be relevant in a good way. So some Christians try to be relevant and they leave their Christianity behind. I don't want to do that. The Christianity is the substance of what I'm offering. The relevance, I hope, comes from my personal perspective. And I'm going to have to leave that to you to assess where my perspective ends and where the substance of the stream begins. Because maybe there's something about Scripture that I've misinterpreted. Or maybe there's something that I've got wrong. Maybe I'm expressing God in an inappropriate way. So that's why I encourage you to get into the Bible. You can find all of the substance that I have to talk about here on the stream from God's Word, the Bible. And it's expressed in its purity. It is not tainted by my human interpretation, by my sinfulness. That is, if you can choose between watching this stream and reading the Bible, read the Bible. But you can also see my personal experience with the world, how I view the world through the lens of my faith from this channel. And going back, I just want to make sure that I tie in the gameplay again, because that's how I got here. I'm going to be playing new games, and what I'm trying to do is mix up the toppings a bit, so that you know that where I'm being consistent on the channel is not in the substance of the channel. I don't care about the game. The game is fun, but the game is not substantial. So if I'm playing another game, then maybe that will be fun too, because there's some variety. And if you're coming for Minecraft only, if you don't think that my God is substantial, if that's not your opinion, if you don't care about me, which is fine, then seeing me switch to another game is going to make you leave the channel, right? And that's kind of what I want, because I want you to get the experience that you're looking for. Tell you what, I'm done here. Let me go ahead and save and quit, and then I'll full screen so that you get a more of what I'm talking about here. I can look you more in the face. Your face is not available to me, but my face is now more available to you. So if you're here for the game, you probably left the video already because the game is over. And that's fine. That's what I want. If the experience you're looking for is the game, then don't park here. So I'll be switching out the games, because if you're looking for a particular game, then you'll get the idea that this is not the place you want to be. Now, I welcome you if what you're looking for is how do other people live, people who are different than me. How does someone else see the world that I would not normally see the world? That is the kind of people that I want to be here. I am interested in how you see the world. What is the sauce that you bring to this channel? Wouldn't that be a great thing if this channel was a pizzeria with a whole bunch of different sauces? If we had enchiladas that had different flavors of tortilla. Maybe you get the normal tortilla, or the spinach tortilla, or the corn tortilla versus the wheat tortilla, or the sweet potato tortilla. And of course, assuming that all those flavors work out, it would be great to have a discussion with you and see how that intermingles with whatever else is being brought to the channel. So that is what I'm looking forward to when I get to meet you. I've gotten to meet some folks in chat. Got a great chat, great stream with Patrick last stream. One thing that I am trying to work on personally is learning how to interact with complete strangers. Because a complete stranger comes onto the stream and I know enough to say, hello, how's your day? But those are kind of meaningless pleasantries in our society, right? So how do I get to a deeper topic with a stranger that I know nothing about? How do I get to a deeper conversation, I should say, with a stranger that I know nothing about? So that is where I hope to grow and mature in the stream, to learn more next. And certainly your being here, if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, if those discussions are something you're interested in, that's going to help me to get that practice. So I'd appreciate that. And then, of course, the thing that I want to be most consistent about on this channel. The channel is called Faith Focals. My parents gave me a blessing. They gave me a name that cuts to the heart of what's important to me. So my name is Faith, but I'm also here to talk to you about my faith in God. And faith is one of those things that I want to address in a future stream. That would be a great topic for me to bring up in a future stream, because a lot of times this is a place where if I were doing a longer stream, I would transition to a different topic. And I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to save that for later. But a lot of times people hear the word faith and they think the only thing I could possibly be talking about is a belief that has no basis behind it, a belief upon no evidence. And that is exactly the opposite of what I talk about when I use the word faith. So I'd love to address that to you, with you, maybe next stream. Maybe I've got an idea for something I can bring to the stream. And when I talk about culture, games are a big part of that culture. So we're talking about the toppings. Maybe movies, that's the toppings. Now, it's a great way to get into the substance, which is the spiritual stuff, but culture is the toppings. Current events, now we're talking about perspective. Now we're talking about the sauce. Now we're talking about my opinion versus, say, someone else's opinion. Great discussion contact. We can get into the spiritual from there. And the spiritual is where I want to be consistent. And the spiritual is where I have been consistent on this channel from stream 1. In my first stream, I've spoken about how if you wanted to become a Christian, if you want to be right with God, if you want to be forgiven for your sins, for your rebellion against God, then I've spelled that out in the first stream on this channel, and I'll continue to spell that out in future streams as well. So I think this is a great place to tie it up here. God bless you, and play kind.